All right, well, let's get into this Monday training. The good thing about our trainings this year is Juanita and I, we rotated weeks. So this is my week. And just a question for anybody. Anybody out here have any big dreams? Anybody have any big dreams at all? Big dreams? Okay, big dreams. I'm talking about huge dreams. Like, just wanted to make sure I was kind of like in the right room today. Who has an emergency dream, like something like a 911 outcome, something they have to get done now, or it will negatively affect either you or somebody connected to you? Anybody besides me? I'm talking about an emergency, a 911. Okay. All right. So you're the person that I'm trying to train to today, right? The person that has to get a result ASAP. That's the person who I want to talk to today. So I want to just kind of tell a quick story. And this story started back when I was about in the 5th grade. And I grew up in Inglewood, California, as you guys all know. I grew up on 97th and Crenshaw, right? People know what Inglewood is up to no good, right? Everybody's heard that. 97th and Crenshaw. I had 2 parents, mother and father, great marriage, 40-something years till my dad passed. My sisters, I had 1 older sister. I have 1 younger sister, so I'm the middle child. I'm the only boy in the family, in our immediate family. And you guys know Inglewood, like I graduated high school in 1985. So our neighborhood is just full of gangbangers, blood. We lived in a blood neighborhood. A lot of drug dealers around us. They worked overtime at trying to recruit me, because I was the only guy in our family, to be in gangs and try to sell drugs and things of that nature. Like these gang members, that I remember when we would get out of elementary school, it was about 3 blocks around the corner from my house. And as soon as the bell rang, it was like, man, running through the airport like OJ. You guys remember the OJ Hertz commercial when he was jumping over the luggage and things like that? It was like trying to get home 3 blocks sometimes took 2 hours, because you're trying to avoid gang members trying to jump you into gangs. And they would try to force you to get into where we live was a gang called the Inglewood Family. And these guys were not taking a no for an answer about joining their gang. So I would say by the time I got out of maybe the 6th grade, I probably had at least 30 fights after school with kids that were much older than me, because I was in elementary school fighting, high school and seniors. I mean, and high school guys and middle school guys. We called it junior high when I was coming up. There was no such thing as middle school. And so it was a very, very, very tough, like kind of like childhood. Like who's ever seen a movie like Boys in the Hood? Anybody ever seen the movie Boys in the Hood? Right. Okay. It's true story, right? Everything you see in that movie about Inglewood, South Central, during the time when that movie was made was a time where I was growing up, and it was all true. So one of the things about me, I always wanted to have a big brother, and I never had a big brother because obviously I have 2 awesome sisters. And so what I would do is I would want to be with my male cousins, and my cousins didn't live near me. So on the weekends, what I'd have to do is I was probably by that time around in the 6th or 7th grade, I would get home, I would get on the city bus, take 3 buses, and I would go to South Central LA. Now, Inglewood was pretty rough, but South Central LA was probably 10 times worse when it comes to gang violence, like unreal, right? The good thing for me is one of my older cousins, he was in charge of all the Crips in South Central LA. So nobody ever bothered us. We kind of had like a protection around us, which is kind of rare. Like I remember one time, one of my best friends, his name's Alan, and I said, hey man, we're going to South Central. He's like, well, I'm not going to South Central on the bus. And he went with me because he knew my cousins were some pretty notorious guys. And when we got off the bus, my grandmother lived at 52nd and Central, like right in the heart of South Central LA. And at the corner, when you get off the bus and you walk down the block, everybody knows who lives on that block. Like everybody knows. And if they don't know you live on that block, you start to hear these whistle sounds going around like, woo, woo, like somebody is on our block that we have no idea who is supposed to be on our block. And so you don't see anybody, but you start hearing all these whistles come out everywhere, and it's kind of scary. The good thing for us, like I said, my cousin, he controlled the whole neighborhood, all the Rolling 60 Crips in LA, which is probably some of the notorious Crips that are out there. And nobody bothered us, which was good. So what I would do is my mom grew up in South Central. So her mother was there. So I would stay with my grandmother, who I loved to death. and all my male cousins were there on the weekend. Trust me, guys, follow my story. I'm going somewhere, right? And I would stay with them in South Central because I wanted to have that like brotherly love, that connection with other men.